Hey, what's going on, bro? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother. Welcome in.
Thank you. Appreciate you hosting.
No, thank you very much for coming on. I'm really excited to have a conversation with you and dig a little bit into your perspective and your experience.
Yeah, sure, man. I mean, like I said, appreciate you having me here, and whenever you're ready. I did wanted to open up the camera. Unfortunately, my phone was 45%, and I'm charging it now. But once it's good to go, I'll open up the camera.
Okay, yeah, that's all good. One of the things that I would like to maybe start off with is what got you into crypto? Was there a specific moment? Maybe there was a specific coin that pulled you into this space?
So, hello everyone in the chat. Appreciate you. Um, so it's kind of a funny story. I'll try to make the long story as short as possible. So, I got introduced to crypto through a scam, right? Well, two times. The first one was through a scam. There was a pyramid scheme that I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know what Dash Coin was, and I was just look. I'm just being honest with everyone. I was just a guy trying to find a way to provide for my family, right? So the way that the platform works was you put in, let's say, $500,000 all the way to 100K, and they would multiply whatever you put in within 6 to 8 months, apparently, right? So, with that being said, um, I took a shot at it. I put in some money. Um, there was like, oh, if you want your money to be returned to you faster, then you got to bring people in. I found that weird, and I was like, I'm not, I don't feel comfortable doing that. But let me see. Long story short, um, years later, found out it was a scam. There's still an active investigation. I was, a person that helped out the authorities big time because these guys they kept their scam pretty well hidden and nobody had proof until I got involved. So with that being said, one of the things that caught my attention about the platform was trying to withdraw. So they used to promote the Dash coin. And with the Dash coin, I actually got my hands like I found out about Binance, market cap, and all of that. And I found out that there was like 4,000 different crypto coins by then, right? And I found out that Dash usually is within your wallet within 5 minutes. Now, with that, that's when I started suspecting that it was a scam. And unfortunately, that was my first crypto experience. The second time, someone told me about, no, I got it backward. The first time, someone told me about Bitcoin. And that's how I ended up in Dash. Uh, and they was like, hey, have you ever heard of Bitcoin? And I was like, what is that? And they're like, no, look into it. And I'm like, when I did the research, all the website I went to, it was saying that it was a scam. So I came back and I told that person it's probably a scam, so I won't touch it. Now, imagine how many blessings I'm getting now after Bitcoin hit 120K.
That's a hell of a way to get to enter. Well, I think most people, if their first experience within this market was they got scammed, I think that for most people that would be a deterrent for them to continue to explore the space. And I'm noticing a pattern with you, Wadi. You have a immense amount of mental resilience. That's the one thing that I'm learning about you is you have this unbreakable mentality with almost just about everything, every avenue you decide to go down your life. You have this I don't give up mentality, and
Thank you.
I absolutely love it. That's a crazy way to get introduced into this space is to have that type of experience, and I guess it's positive for you, in the way that now you come on day after day, and regardless of how tired you are or what's going on in your life, you come on and you're doing it for the crypto fam. And who better to learn about crypto scams than from someone who's had to learn from failing with that experience?
Yeah, well, that's exactly my point there. Like some people, when I tell them, well, I was involved in a Ponzi scheme, they be like, oh my gosh, is the end of the world? What's wrong with this guy? But in reality, I turned that negative situation into a positive situation, and that's what made me like wanna educate people on what is crypto. That even though a lot of people say, hey, it's a scam, reality it's not. What you invest to, that's where the scam happened. Like I said, in my experience, it was that one platform, and I learned from it. I learned definitely not to give my coins to anyone. I'd rather buy it, either hold it on a exchange or just hold it in my wallet. Not your keys, not your crypto. And if it's a cold storage, even better.
Yeah, exactly. You've been warning people for a while now about crypto scams. So, how do you spot a scam before it's too late? Like, is there a common trick or a red flag that investors fall for a majority of the times?
Yeah, well, it depends which one you want to talk about because there is plenty of pyramid scheme scams that, they got like, for example, the mining machine where you could jump in there and they supposedly mining an example, a new Bitcoin, and they make you buy these expensive machines, right? Quote unquote machines. So that usually it's a scam. Um, if you get offered, hey, put your money here, and then we're gonna triple it or double it, that's usually a scam as well. So I think that anything, in my humble opinion, anything that is related to crypto and offering some type of return, 9 out of 10, it's a scam.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the one thing that I tend to look for is when you have a project that promises an insane return. Typically, that's a pretty good red flag for anybody to kind of realize, like, okay, maybe this is a little bit too good to be true. For me personally, not that I view these things as a scam, but within my own investing history, I tend to lose money on the projects that I don't understand. Like if I can't explain what a project does, or if I'm a little bit confused about it, um, I'm not going to buy it. And that's me personally. Not that I think that a project I don't understand is a scam, but for me personally, if I can't explain what it does, I don't want to buy the projects. And typically, like especially with in regards to scams, a lot of times there's a little bit of confusion. Like they tell you something, but some things don't make sense. If you don't have that certainty in that investment, me personally, that's just a way that I can protect myself. Is I want to have certainty in what it is that I'm investing in, just understanding what it is I'm throwing money on.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. Look, even for someone that's trading, right? What's the one of the rules for trading? If you don't know your asset, don't trade it, right? Like for example, most traders they would spend hours studying how that asset move before even try trading it. And it's the same thing with what you're saying. I feel that if you don't know, if you haven't done your research, or if you don't even like, I've been saying sometimes in this space, yes, there's meme coins that are established like Doge, Shiba Inu, even though I really don't believe in it as much. Pepe, Punk, you get what I'm saying? Those are already established meme coin. But if you get a brand new meme coin called Juju Inu or something and nobody knows about, why would you invest your money risking it to lose it all in that one?
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'd like to jump into the next thing just to understand just to get to know you a little bit better and let my audience get to know you a little bit better. We were talking about your mental resilience. You've been very open about CMT 4D. Um,
Yes.
if you could, I'd like for you to kind of explain what exactly is that, and how do you keep your mindset so strong that regardless of everything that you're going through, you still show up for your community every single day.
Well, Shogomarito type 4D, it's extremely rare disability. I was the lucky one to get it. There is a cure for A1, there's a cure for B1, A2, B2, or at least something that could slow it down, but there's nothing for 4D, right? And the only thing I could say is yes, it is a challenge. Yes, it is tough. Seeing my muscle gets weaker and weaker over time. I don't know if you noticed some of my workout videos, but
Love them.
in
I
some of
absolutely
my
love them.
workout, huh?
I absolutely love them.
Yeah, thank you. Well, in some of my workout videos, sometimes you could see like, let's say for example, where the tricep is, it shakes like a gelatin or something. That's because of the weakness on the muscle, right? And overall, it affects my mobility, it affects my nerve system, my muscles, obviously, my bones, and it's a challenge. But I also wanted to become a source of inspiration to a lot of people. Just like, no matter what, hey man, life goes on. I did go through, when I was younger. I'm not gonna mention certain words because it's TikTok. But I went through a period where I was bullied, I was, depressed, I was angry. And once again, I decided to turn a negative situation into a positive thing, and I just wanted to motivate people. That's it. That's like, no matter what I'm going through, I decide I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna smile, and I'm gonna motivate people.
Um, I love that you have this mentality that you're using something that may have held you back a little bit, but you view this as a complete superpower. I mean, you say that you work out to beat your illness, and I'm wondering if you've had a moment recently where you felt that you were unbreakable or unstoppable.
To be honest, it is funny, but I never thought myself superior to anyone or anything like that. I am just the guy that I try, my best. Like, okay, so maybe someone could run 3 blocks, an example, right? And maybe I could only do 1 block, but at the end of the day, I'm just gonna try my best to make it. That's it. And that's all that matters to me. As long as I try, that's all I care about.
Yeah, I think you absolutely are a inspiration to um, the entire community. But I mean that, it's the people that get to know you on a personal level, showing up every single day and doing your best. Sometimes you need a little mentor or a little guidance. It could be a friend, a family member, or a stranger on the internet. Someone that doesn't find excuses. Somebody that conquers. Someone that is not a victim but a victor. They achieve victory, and that's just really through discipline and their own mental strengths. I absolutely love that you have this mental resilience and this strength. I don't know where you draw it from, brother, but I absolutely love it, and I'm digging off of it. Is he here? Is he here? Is he getting the phone call?
Sorry if you heard that racking noise. I'm trying to put my phone in a certain way, so I will open the camera now. It's at 60%, so that should be good.
Chat, show Wadi some love, ladies and gentlemen. Day in, day out, he's showing up.
Let me see. That's what I'm saying. Like, as far as the little challenges here and there, it took me literally 5 minutes to put my phone up. So
it's amazing, man.
Okay,
I mean, for where you may lack with your muscles, you are sharp as a tick. I mean, I've jumped in your lives. The way that you analyze, research, and you can, you can depict maybe the sentiment or the trends. I don't know how you do it, what software you're using, but your analysis on what is in front of your face is really unmatched. There's not many lives that I've jumped into where people have this ability to view it in the perspective that you have it in, and I think that that's why so many people trust you. You are sharp as a tick. I'd love to know your secret. How are you doing this, my guy?
I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, I just honestly, sometimes I even ask my question how I do it, right? I just like to do a lot of research. I like to fill myself with as much knowledge as possible, despite everything. I always, and I don't want to make it religious, but I always thank God that He gave me a freaking sharp brain, bro. So
praise be to God. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If I can, I'd like to ask you if you have any advice for maybe some of the newcomers, the people that are new to crypto. Maybe this is their first cycle, and you have a very large following. You have a ton of followers on TikTok. You have a ton of followers on YouTube as well. Even your Twitter. You have a lot of people that trust you. I'd like to ask you, like, what would be your number one piece of advice for someone who is new into this space before they maybe throw money at a project?
Well, it's very important to do your own research. Definitely do not play with meme coins starting up because that's gonna be the hardest lesson that the crypto space will teach you, and you will get discouraged, and you think that crypto it's a scam when reality, if you do research on one of the top 100, top 10, top, well, let's just round it up to the top 50 meme coin. I mean, blue chips coin. Right there, that's the top 50 on coin market cap. Very good resource. Then you should be good to go. But if you start the crypto space and the first thing you jump into is meme coin, unfortunately, don't be upset when you do get rug or something like that.
Do you whenever we say do your own research, I know for maybe some people that are coming into the space, they sometimes I feel like as if they don't necessarily know how to do their own research. I mean, even me, I'm still learning how to do my research. What's a good source? What's a trustworthy source? Who is trustworthy and who isn't? Do you have advice on people that are just starting to learn how to do your own research? There is YouTube your best friend? Is what do you think of Twitter? Like how what would be your advice for anyone who doesn't know how to do their own research?
Well, so the research it's a little bit extensive, right? You want to look, for example, once again, I'm referring to the top 50, top 100 crypto from CoinMarketCap. If you could see more or less their history, for example, a lot of people right now, and one of the most talk about coin is XRP, right? We all know that. So, with that being said, what's so special about XRP? Well, it is super fast. It is cheap. It is backed by Ripple, which Ripple is the owner, and now Ripple has a lot of good partnership with banks. So what I'm not gonna give you the full tea on it, but what I'm trying to say is when you do the connection of who is behind the project, it makes it way easier and trustworthy to invest in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very open about my investment strategy and what I do. I mean, when I really focus on utility. I don't really like the meme coins. I know you dabble a little bit into both. You're not just in one lane. You look heavily into, you got the HBAR and V chain, but then you also dabble with,
Yes.
as far as I'm aware. Um, Me personally, when I'm doing my own research, I always say to people that I look for three things when I look for utility projects. I look for like the use cases, right? What is the utility? Does it solve a real world problem?
Yeah.
The second thing that I look for is like adoption rate or partnerships. I want to see if any TradFi is interested or any central banks or any governments, did they run any pilot programs with anybody?
Mm.
So in terms of like the big fish out there, are they interested in this project? So partnerships for me kind of dictates like adoption rate. The third thing that I also look for with these utility coins is maybe compliance or will they survive regulations? Because I'm a long-term investor. I really want to hold on to these
Yeah.
assets for 10, 15, 20 years. And the only way that I could see these projects surviving that long is if they comply and they can, uphold to regulatory frameworks. So that's kind of what I always say to people. Like when I research, I look for those three things.
Yeah, no, and those are actually very, very valid points. Once again, everyone does have their own way of doing research. I'm more of the tech geek side of things. Like, I'll look into the freaking smart contract, if it's audited and all of that. And all that took time to learn, to be honest. So, as a newcomer, I wouldn't tell you, hey, man, learn how to read contract because it's going to take a minute.
I'd like to ask you maybe your perspective on the meme coins versus the utility. What would be your take on the meme culture versus utility in maybe let's just say the next bull run or when that next cycle is supposed to be jumped in, maybe 4 years from now or 3 years from now, whenever we are projecting that next cycle to be. What would be your take on the meme culture versus the utility?
So, the meme culture is good. There, to be honest, once again, and that goes back to smart contract reading and all of that. There's a good website I like to use. It's called Token Sniffer. Usually, it checks out some of the points where whether I should worry or not. So the meme culture, they could make you money as long as that community has a lot of hype behind it and a big community. I'm not talking about I just launched a meme coin today, and that meme coin got 100 followers, and they promoting that the meme coin it's like 10 zeros, 8, and then they're telling everyone it's gonna go to $1 within a week. That would never happen. So the meme community, if you know how to play the game, there is money to be made. I think there's more money to be made in the meme community than the utility one, right? But then this is the other thing. I kind of contradict myself because I also feel if you find a good blue chip project with good utility and it's under at least 100, or even let's make it simpler, under 500 million market cap, then you can make just as much gain on that project as you could on a meme coin project.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and there's a lot of them. And I think that, I mean, me personally, like when it comes down to the research of these utility projects, I think that those gems are a little bit easier to find because there's actual data on online that you can look at. I mean, maybe a little bit, maybe you're more aware of how to go about this than me, but me personally, as far as I'm aware, I don't think that I can really do any research on the meme coins or have any sense of predictability of what these coins could be this cycle or the end of the cycle or next cycle or even in a few years. I mean, maybe gauging the community, the community sentiment. Is the community growing? And right, maybe those are the things that you can kind of look at. But I think at the end of the day, these speculative assets, uh, that maybe you could tell me, is there any way that these people can do a little
Well,
bit more research into these meme coins?
so you see, there I would say that you do need a little bit of research, which will be on the smart contract side, right? You want to know if there's a red flag like tax being modifiable. And let me explain what that is. So, when you're gonna buy and sell, some meme coin do have taxes. Now, if the taxes is 3%, then whatever you sell, 100, 3% out of 100 is gonna take $3 less. So if you're selling $100, you're probably only gonna get 96 at the end, right? So any meme coin with tax, that's whatever percentage, that's what they're gonna take, the buy or sell. But when you have tax modifiable, it's a problem because the developer could put the tax to 100%, and when you sell, you don't even get $1 back.
That's no good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good at all. So how do people understand uh, how do people understand to look for that?
Yeah, well, like I said, a pretty easy website. It's called tokensniffer.com. Pretty
That
good. I
that's
use it. Huh?
Wadi, that's insane. I didn't think that as far as I'm aware, you just made money on this guy and he just boom, it's gone like that. That's a scam. That's a scam. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you also need to know that it goes back to what I said, smart contract. That's like, if you really don't know as much, that's what you want to look into. You can even use chat gpt nowadays. It'll, like, you could ask chat gpt, hey, what are some red flags in a smart contract, and it will give you a list. And yeah, there is free tools, there's token sniffer, there is bubble maps where you could see how many wallets you know they have, like the biggest holding. Another thing that you want to research on a meme coin is the top 10 holders. If the top 10 holder owns more than even, well, I've seen project that own 25 and they still do good, but I would say more than 25%, it's a red flag for me, because that could just be the developer wallet being split up, and then whenever they reach whatever market cap they want to reach, they could just dump it all and nobody else could cash out.
I would like to ask you, and this is one of I think the common ways that maybe new people get involved in the space is they start to see the same crypto influencers, maybe on the TikTok or YouTube, Instagram, or whatever it may be. Um, what is your perspective on these influencers kind of pushing these really low market cap meme coins out to their audience? Do you think that that's kind of an indicator of, maybe the viewers should be asking themselves, is this somebody that I should be listening to?
Well, see, this is the thing. I've been around the space for a long time. Well, I've been in crypto about 8 years now. I've been a content creator. I don't call myself an influencer. For about 4 years, going on 4 years. I used to hang around with a lot of the bigger influencers. I mean, not the top, but they also know the top influencer. And one thing that I did is I backed away from that crowd because I didn't like what I was seeing. And it's exactly this: they would get paid or they would get allocation from a meme coin project, and then they will promote it to their community, and from there the project will just either dump, or like, once it gets to a certain market cap, the project dumps. They either come back or the project never comes back, or sometimes the project lasts like maybe 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year, and at the end of the day it's still the same crap. It turns out to be a crap show. Slayer, appreciate you, bro. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad that you said that. Look, don't get me wrong. I think that there are a lot of people in the space that kind of broadcast their opinions and their beliefs to the community, as they should. But there is definitely a market of influencers out there who are kind of utilizing their fan base to come up on something.
Hmm.
It's a little bit more, often it happens a little bit more often than some people realize that are new to the space. And I
Yeah.
always try to say, like, especially for the new people in here that are new to the space, one of the best things that you could try to do for yourself is kind of find the distinction between an influencer or an educator. An influencer is going to kind of throw this information at you.
Well,
They'll just try to get you target your emotions, right? They'll say, "Oh, XRP is going to $10,000, because Donald Trump's got two left shoes on." And then there's the educator side of it, where they'll sit down and they'll say, "Hey, XDC has development of $24 million tokenized on the network. They just had a partnership with this capital firm, and this capital firm came out and said they want to deploy $1 billion on this. So the growth from 24 million to $1 billion, right? When people say that they believe in a project, they should be able to tell you why they believe this project will be successful.
yes.
With facts and actual data and real substance, instead of just saying a bunch of nonsense with nothing to support it. So guys, if you are new, please find the distinction between a crypto influencer who is just trying to get you excited about something, give you that hopium that you're gonna make $1 million on this project just because whatever they say, versus someone who is going to explain why they believe what they believe. I think that's probably one of the best tips that I could give to new people, is find that distinction.
Yeah, so see, I consider myself, like I said, a content creator, and educator as well, because I'm not going based on emotion. I'm not going based on Kool-Aid hype or anything like that. I realistically tell the people, look, this is what I see in this token, and this is based on facts. The perfect example is XRP. Just now, the live stream that I had, we did spoke about XRP and all of that, and I kind of see their perspective from the other person, but I also, from my point of view, I'm on the realistic side. Then what's going on? Appreciate you. I'm more on the realistic side. Okay, so what is the chances of Swift being thrown out and XRP taken over? Chances are technically impossible, right? Maybe in the future, maybe somewhere where my great grandkids, you never know. But for now, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Um, the $10,000 XRP prediction, we're talking about a 500 trillion market cap, which that makes all the market cap together, derivatives, gold, you name it, which is a total of 300 trillion. And XRP would literally take everything. You get what I mean? So, realistic expectation based on facts, based on research, not based on hype and hopium.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we, as content creators or educators in the space, have a responsibility to the people listening to us. And look, don't get me wrong,
Yes.
we have a little bit of difference of opinion. I honestly have the perspective that it absolutely could go to those levels. I think I always say my official prediction on it is $100 by 2030. I try to underestimate my price and overestimate my time. That's just my perspective on everything, because I don't want people that listen and trust me to say, oh well, blockchain said that it was going to go to $10,000, so I'm only going to get 100 of them. Like, that's not the proper way to be thinking. Like you said, it's the targeting that hopium, instead of trying to approach it as a educated investor would. So yeah, like I wasn't aware what your perception on was with XRP. I know you absolutely love Hedera, and I do as well. I think that Hedera is, honestly, dude, I think that Hedera is probably just as big as a monster as Ripple is in this space. And they are
Yes.
covering just about everything
Well,
from DeFi to
in my
AI.
opinion, it might even be a little bigger, in my opinion. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I like when you look at the TPS, or the means of the way that the chain comes to a consensus, right? The quantum resistance, the AI, the payments on there, the RWAs, and you look at the people, the traditional financial, the central banks, and everybody that's coming in to start to utilize this technology. Hedera maybe is not as talked about as XRP is, or as well known as to everyone as
Yeah.
XRP is, but it
Well,
absolutely deserves to be in the conversation.
real quick before we actually touch on Hedera. Now, I just want to hear your perspective on why and how you think XRP could actually make it to 100. And before you mention anything, just know for XRP to even be at $50, it needs to be 2.60 trillion market,
Yes.
which that will make it bigger than Bitcoin itself.
Yes. My personal perspective is I believe that your utility assets, your XRP, XLM, Chainlink even, maybe let's say the top 20 or 30 of your utility giants. I believe in due time, ultimately, those projects will go to a $1 trillion market cap. I absolutely believe that. I believe that this is my theory with just so I can give you a little bit of background and then I can get into why I believe what I believe. But my theory is that currently in this space, we're in this speculative market, right? So retail is, a lot of these products, Bitcoin is the ultimate driver of the entire market, 60% market dominance. Bitcoin itself, its price comes from speculation and hype. And Bitcoin leads everything else, right? Bitcoin is also affected by interest rates, rumors of war, elections, things like that. So Bitcoin is a speculative asset. The price is driven by speculation rather than people actually utilizing the technology. But I believe that we are actually we're witnessing a real transition in time where we're shifting out of a speculative market into a utility-driven market. And we're seeing this through the integration of traditional finance, central banks, and governments coming in to utilize this technology for whatever use cases that they need. And I mean, even when you're looking at RWA growth, right? They want tokenized money market funds and tokenizing commodities, tokenizing stocks. Well, all of these use cases, typically they're not going to your meme coins. As far as I'm aware, the tokenization on Bitcoin non-existent. So there's a lot of use cases outside of Bitcoin that will bleed into other markets. So I believe as institutions come in for maybe payments or AI or DeFi or what RWAs, whatever it is that they want to do, smart contracts.
Yeah.
I believe that the institutions, the big money, is going to grow crypto from a $4 trillion market cap to 100 in due time. I believe it's going to happen quicker than most people tend to expect. So with that market, I don't believe that when we are at a $100 trillion market cap, that Bitcoin will still have a 60% market cap dominance. Look, I believe that Bitcoin can go to $1 million one day, but I believe that the institutions coming in, right, the assets that what we can see now within our own research, they're looking at Chainlink, right? They're looking at Hedera, they're looking at XRP, they're looking at Solana, right? We can kind of see what exactly it is that they're looking at. In due time, I believe that as institutional money does flood into these markets, I don't find it to be kind of unrealistic that your XRP, your XLM, XDC, Solana, Chainlink could go to a $1 trillion market cap. And I believe that the only way that we can get to that is from institutional money, not necessarily retail money. So maybe it's not fair to look at the previous cycles because the previous cycles is still retail dominated. And my theory is that when institutions come in, we will go into a utility run. So in terms of market cap is, as most people do know, it's price times the circulating supply. So I don't see a reason why XRP can't be, the same as the U.S. GDP or more than half of the stock market. Ultimately, when you're looking at utility assets, it's the amount of value that they can bring onto chain, right? If they're solving a problem that's trillions and trillions of dollars with a limited supply, and in most cases with some of these assets, even a deflationary supply, right? The supply is coming down. So it's increasing demand with a deflationary supply. I can't sit there and say that, you know, XRP can't go to $500 because ultimately it's supply and demand dynamics. It's the amount of value that these assets can bring onto the chain will dictate the price of it, right? It's available supply times the demand. Now, in terms of XRP, 100 billion coins, that's a lot. 100 billion is a big supply. But when you're looking at some of the demand, in order for it to reach that valuation of $100 or even $50, retail, I don't believe could bring it to $50. You know, when you're looking at the 24-hour volume, I think we're at 24 billion as far as I'm aware with XRP. Let me just double check that. I don't want to say something.
Yeah, I could get that for you. Give me a minute.
I don't want to say something that's not true. I think it's 24 billion, somewhere around there for XRP.
I'm getting it right now.
It's 9 billion as of today. Almost about 10 billion. I believe that
24 hour 9.71 billion.
Yeah, I believe in order for it to go to $50 or let's just even say 50 or 100, regardless, it's going to be your institutional adoption that comes in. So in terms of how much value can these assets actually bring on chain, you have to look at the markets that these things are targeting, right? Where can XRP be used in? It could be used in FX markets, remittances. Maybe, you know, Ripple solves the on-demand liquidity and free up the Nostro Vostro accounts. Even e-commerce, carbon credits, you know, CBDCs, real estate, tokenization, micropayments, treasury, insurance. When you add up kind of all of the use cases, now I'm not saying that they're going to get, you know, 100% of these markets or even 10% of these markets. They may only get 1% or fractions of 1%. But when you add up the value that in theory could be brought onto chain, it's still in the it's still in the trillions of dollars, if not hundreds of billions. So at that point, it's just a supply and demand metrics. Now, regardless of, you know, Ripple's, and we're really only kind of focusing right now on like the payment side of things or the RWA side of things. When you're including, you know, all of the other clientele that Ripple does bring on, whether that's through their custody firms or even them applying through the OCC, right? They want to get they want to become a Fed master account, have RLUSD held by the Fed Reserve.
Yeah.
The amount of liquidity that could be ultimately brought into the ecosystem, the valuation of it is in the trillions of dollars. Now, I believe like I don't think that Ripple's going to take over Swift. I don't believe that at all. That's a kind of a thing in the XRP community that people say all the time.
Yeah.
That's not my official perspective. Swift is what we know. Swift is absolutely looking into DLT technology. They are going to have to integrate in with some sorts of DLTs. Now, I can't say that it's Ripple. I can't say that it's going to be XDC or XLR. I can't say that because we don't have official documentation. This is kind of just speculation, so we can't confirm none of that. But we do know that they are looking to adopt DLT technology in order to have that instantaneous settlement, maybe the custody, whatever needs that the Swift does want to do. But regardless if it's Swift or regardless if it's DTCC, right? We know that Ripple and Stellar, they have access to the DTCC. They process almost $2-3 quadrillion every single year in settlement. And the reasons that Ripple and Stellar have access to it is through securrency. So whether it's direct or indirect partnerships, there's kind of enough breadcrumbs out there that led me to this theory that maybe it's honestly, Wadi, maybe the potential value that could be brought onto the chain is not in the trillions, it's not in the hundreds of trillions, but maybe just maybe it's in the quadrillions of dollars, even when you're kind of even just focused on RWAs, right? Tokenizing debt, tokenizing real estate, tokenizing stocks, regardless of whatever Ripple is going after. Now, it's very likely that, you know, things kind of go south and that Ripple doesn't bring on the amount of volume that I've kind of been witnessing with the adoption rate of it. It's very possible that it could go south. It's just as likely as it could go up, it could go down. And that's, as an educated investor, you have to not be emotional to a project. If something's not going in the right direction, you have to reanalyze your positions and say, hey, maybe this isn't where I thought it was, or where I was sold on, or what I was promised that this would do. And you may have to reanalyze your position. But even just looking at the growth and the adoption of Ripple, kind of leads me to this idea that the token cannot be cheap. And to be honest with you, this would be my closing thought, but the only reason as to why I hear that this asset can't go to $100 or it can't go to $1,000 is because the market cap would be too high. Now,
Yeah.
personally, I don't think that market cap is a proper means to compare the valuation of a market, especially when they're tapping into multiple markets, right? That even when you're talking about tokenizing commodities, tokenizing stocks, cross-border payments, whether that's escrow or custody, when you're looking at a digital asset that targets multiple use cases, multiple networks, and can bring on multiple businesses, market cap is not, in my opinion, to some degree, it kind of is, okay? Because you could look at small projects and you could see, okay, like I could get in, and you know what I'm saying, realistically, if it's at 100 million, maybe it goes to $1 billion market cap. Okay, I can understand that. But to put a price limit on a coin because it would be a larger market cap than gold, or a larger market cap than the US GDP, in a logical sense, doesn't make sense. You can't put a ceiling height on a price of an asset because the market cap of gold would be too high.
Yeah.
These assets are ultimately driven by utility and people utilizing it. So as long as the adoption rate is moving in that direction, then I can't say that it's impossible. I could say it's either likely or it's unlikely, but XRP to $10,000 one day, I can't say no, that's impossible. Ultimately, it depends on the amount of value that's brought on.
Okay, so to be fair, I could see eventually, I even guess Grok, right? Like XRP with taking over derivatives and all of that. Uh, it said in about 10 years, XRP hitting possibly $100, right? That's coming from Grok. Now, the reason why we count market cap and supply is because unless you know of any crypto that hasn't added market cap to supply ratio. Because at the end of the day, like for example, I used to argue with a friend of mine, man, come on, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Bro, Bitcoin, 21 million total supply. There's already probably like 19 point something million already out there, and the rest is still mineable. So I used to tell them you cannot compare that to XRP. And I do understand everything else. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but I'm saying from a more realistic perspective, even someone that would tell me, hey man, this year XRP is going to hit 50, $30. I used to tell them, bro, no. In my opinion, 7, 10, and if 15, and I'm adding the fact that ETFs are being added to the equation, then I will say, okay. But even, all right, so research RippleNet, right? Like, I suggest research RippleNet. And the only thing that is using XRP, it's ODL out of the three system that RippleNet has. Because there's three system in RippleNet. But hey man, I'm not gonna, knock you on, your belief. I actually respect your point of view because it makes sense and it's more realistic than the $10,000 hype that I've been hearing.
So when I say it comes down to a supply and demand dynamics, I'm going to give you guys an example of kind of a little bit what exactly it is that I mean. So I'd like to just show you guys. You guys can read it, right? And
Yeah, I see it.
this is David Schwartz explaining exactly like how much supply would be needed for the actual demand. So if you take a look at it, right? He's saying that the higher the price of XRP, the more efficient the system becomes, as less RP is required for large money transfers. Okay, I'm gonna try to set this up.
Okay.
All right. So he's saying if XRP costs $1 and a bank needs to move $1 billion worth, you would need 1 billion XRP to complete that transaction. That's 1%
Yeah.
of the supply. All right. If it's XRP is $100, you would need 10 million XRP. Right. If XRP costs 1,000, you would need 1 million XRP. If one
Yeah.
XRP costs 10,000, you'd need 10,000 XRP to be needed in order to facilitate that type of demand. So, and this is only, and Wadi, this is only on on one bank. Let's just say one bank trying to facilitate a $1 billion transfer. Okay, $1 billion transfer. When you're looking at some of the partnerships that they're bringing on, I'm not saying that they're going to do 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I heard of,
$1 billion
yeah.
is absolute peanuts when you're talking about the amount of volume that can be brought onto the XRP ledger. Now, as far as I'm aware, they have 300 bank partnerships. So some of these partners, they're moving they're moving tens, if not hundreds of $1 billion within every day on a 24-hour basis.
Well, so far from my research on ODL, that once again, it's the only system in the RippleNet that uses XRP. And the way it works is, let's say I want to send $10 to the Dominican Republic, right? So when doing the transaction, it's going to turn the $10 into XRP. And once it arrives to the Dominican Republic, then it will turn into Dominican pesos. That's basically in an instant. You know how fast XRP is, right? Now, out of that transaction, it burns a very small portion of XRP.
Yeah, so
So, yeah,
I'm not even referring to on-demand liquidity. I'm simply just implying for XRP to be utilized in any form of payment, any form of transaction, and that's
okay.
really they use it on the XRP ledger. They built it. XRP is used in the DEX. XRP is built on the escrow, right? Issued tokens on the XRP ledger. There's multiple use cases where XRP is utilized within the Ripple ecosystem. But when you're looking at 300 confirmed partnerships, that some of these partners, some of these institutions are moving tens of billions, hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars every
Yeah,
single day.
yeah.
Let's even
I
assume
mean,
that
as
the average between the 300 banks, let's just say that they move 1 billion each. There is not enough supply in order for them to facilitate that demand, which would which would result in an increase of price in order to facilitate that demand. Now, I don't know if Ripple is ever going to get to 1,000 partners or 2,000 partners. I don't know that. But even just being very conservative and saying that they have 300 partnerships and that's all that they ever get, and that the average of those partners are moving a billion. So there's 300 billion of demand on the XRP ledger.
well,
Price of the
as of
asset
right now,
is in three digits in order to facilitate that type of demand.
well, as of right now, like literally from 2024 to 2025, between the banks that has been already using ODL, that has been a total of $15 billion in transaction. So, like I said, um, I mean, I guess for the sake of argument, I guess that only time will tell. That's the only thing I can say.
No, absolutely. And look, I mean,
Yeah.
funny enough, and this is an asset that can't be adopted until regulations are placed. So we're kind of looking at data prior to regulatory approval. Ultimately, it's the regulations that are going to be involved. But when people say that XRP has no institutional support, these are the people that are involved. You're looking at BlackRock, Fidelity,
Yeah. No,
JP Morgan
I
Chase,
never.
Goldman Sachs, Citibank, HSBC, Santander, UBS,
Yes.
Deutsche Bank, BNY Mellon, Standard Chartered, Grayscale, MasterCard, Visa, the NASDAQ,
Yes.
Virtual Liquidity Hub. They have over 100 partners on-demand liquidity. And then they have, World Economic Forum, the Bank of International Settlement, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, European Central Bank, the Federal Reserve, Bank of England, Bank of India, the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority. You're looking at trillions, if not hundreds of trillions of an ecosystem. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to get 100% of that or 1% of that, but when you're looking at the people that are involved in this ecosystem, it's a ton of fucking money. It's not $1 billion. It's not. We're not looking at $1 billion of XRP that's needed to be moved. This is, and I want to be aware to everyone. This is just a. It's all a theory, right? If you're just saying, okay, that they're going to get, let's just be very conservative, 0.0001% of each institution on average, right, of whatever it is that they are using to transact within the year. You're still looking at a very, very expensive token because the demand for it potentially is in the hundreds of trillions. That's where people get a $100 XRP. Because if you have 300 institutions that are looking to move $300 billion, you need a $100 token in order to facilitate that demand.
Yeah.
Let alone the demand that's needed for a $1 trillion or $10 trillion. So ultimately, it's all kind of, and I want to be aware, guys. This is me picking up breadcrumbs. This is not any confirmation that okay, this institution is going to be moving this much. This is purely my speculation and purely my theory based off of my breadcrumbs. By looking at the people that are involved in this ecosystem, I believe that the demand for this asset is going to be in the hundreds of billions or trillions or possibly tens of trillions. But that's just based off of my research and the people that are involved. I kind of see it as, well, why wouldn't these institutions that I just listed want to kind of come into this ecosystem, especially if there is a benefit for it? This is kind of just my theory. I want to be completely aware. I say a $100 XRP because I potentially look at the people that are involved, the volume that's needed in order to facilitate these transactions, and I say this asset can't be cheap, and retail isn't going to be the one to bring it there. It's going to be the institutional adoption.
No, and I understand the argument. So don't get me wrong, bro. I used to be a big, big, big believer in XRP. I used to believe that even $1,000 per XRP was actually possible. And then I started doing a little bit more digging. I know all about their partnership. I know that SBI Holding CEO said starting 2025, 80% of Japan banks will use XRP. And I was like, damn, if they use it, then probably that's going to be at least $50 per coin, right? Now, what happened with me, right? When they launched RLUSD, I felt like they screwed up big time.
Okay, could you explain why that is?
Okay, so the whole selling point is XRP, the main selling point. Fast transaction, cheap, you want to say cost effective, secure, right? And that was the main aim. That was the main goal. Now, what happened when they came out with our LUSD? Then it kind of makes you question, well, why do they even need XRP for then? because a stable coin, which is a stable coin, and if you look at um, the new system that USDC Circle created, it kind of gives the same thing: fast transactions, secure, cross border, blah, blah, blah. So, right now, there's a lot of system in play that are doing exactly the same thing that XRP is offering. So, me personally, that's just my opinion. And for the record, I do own some XRP. I'm just not waiting for 1K or $10,000. Literally speaking, from that point on, I feel like them launching RLUSD kind of created a problem for XRP. And now, not only that, we have the competition. Then we also have even banks that are partnered with XRP, they're creating their own stablecoin. So, doesn't it make you question, or maybe I'm overthinking it, but if they're already working on their own stablecoin, then what would they even need XRP?
Okay, I think you have an absolute fair point, and I understand because a lot of people within the community also come to the same point. And I kind of agree. Nobody should be holding their breath for a $100 XRP, $1,000 XRP, 10,000. Guys, I want everyone to be realistic.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity, even at $3, maybe just maybe people only believe that it could ever go to 15. Even so, guys, this is a 5x opportunity for you guys. If you think that I need X amount of money to retire, and you only think XRP should is going to go to 15, by all means, guys, get the bags in order to go to 15, and don't be sitting there hoping for a moon bag. That's no way to invest, is to be hoping on a moon bag. But I actually believe that Ripple creating the RLUSD only strengthened the entire ecosystem. And if I can, I would like to dig through it. So one of the reasons why Ripple included RLUSD into this ecosystem is to fuel the growth of DeFi on the network.
Okay.
Ripple at some point was responsible for minting, I believe, 80% of USDC at some point because their institutional clients wanted to have the option of a stable payment in US dollars rather than XRP. So when you're looking at some of their enterprise partnerships, Triangulo, SBI, Wadi, they were asking for a stablecoin, and that's ultimately Ripple is a payments provider. They give whatever needs their clients need. So they were already utilizing USD. I believe it was USDC or USDT. I'm not sure which one it was, but they were already utilizing stablecoins within their ecosystem because stablecoins, as we know, these are assets that people could trust. They have regular audits. Their compliance globally. Now, speaking of trust, right? Another reason why I believe them creating the stablecoin is such a major thing for Ripple is because it gives them more of a sense of regulatory legitimacy. And we could see that through some of the recent adoption, right? We know that they applied for a national bank charter license with the Federal Reserve. If that is granted, they get access to a Fed master account. What that allows them to do is it allows the Federal Reserve to hold and custody RLUSD directly on their balance sheets. So when you're looking at institutions or banks, when they see the central bank, they themselves trust and are holding RLUSD. If anything, that's kind of a sign of trust in order for their enterprise grade clients to want to utilize RLUSD as a form of payments. So it gives them a little bit of leverage in terms of policy. Now, I know there's a lot of competition. USDT is the big daddy, and Circle is a fantastic company as well. They are kicking ass right now, and I really hope for their success. But right now, stablecoins are 250 billion, if somewhere around there. Am I correct? On the U.S. Treasury's website, they're predicting growth to $2 to $3 trillion by 2028. So that percentage of growth from 240 billion to 3 trillion is a lot of money. Yes, Ripple is in there for competition. Even if they just get a sliver of that growth from 240 to $3 trillion, that's a ton of liquidity that's being brought into that ecosystem. So I understand why they are trying to compete, because the stablecoin market is going to grow, explode from 240 billion to 3 trillion by 2028. We're not talking 2030. I understand why they want a little bit piece of the pie. Now, whether or not you think that they're going to be successful by taking some competition away from Circle or Tether, that's interpretation. That comes down to being your own researcher and deciding, okay, maybe this has an edge or this doesn't. But RLUSD is supervised by the New York State Department of Financial Services, I believe.
Yeah, I know. I actually I reported on live stream. Like I said, I used to focus on XRP. Majority of my following came from XRP live stream. I used to have even 250, 300 people, when I was doing XRP solely extremes. The thing with me, blockchain, is that I'm a self-conscious guy, and yeah, I believe XRP has a great system. Yes, I believe it's gonna do great. They have proven it, but does everyone involved in crypto want to get their money stuck? And that's a big problem that I have seen with XRP. There's people 5 years ago when the whole not 5 years ago, when the whole SEC lawsuit started, a lot of people been stuck holding since then. And now this time around, I am pretty sure there's going to be a whole lot of people, even more probably, that's going to stay stuck holding XRP. Why? Because they are listening to certain influencers that are saying, hey, this thing is going to go to 1,000. This thing is going to go to 10,000. This thing, and for the non-educated people, right? They're going to fall for that, unfortunately. And that's just my thing. That's why I started, I'm not the XRP hater by any means, but I started bringing out facts. And your facts actually makes more sense than the facts that other people give me. Because their belief is XRP is going to be 10K because of the demand of RippleNet and all the banks that's going to be using it. Well, I debunked that because with ODL, the only system using XRP on RippleNet. Other than that, none of the other system is using XRP on the RippleNet.
Wadi, I absolutely, and you absolutely should be doing this. Look, with every investment, as good as some of these assets may seem, there's always cons. There's always a negative side to it. And as any type of not even influencer or content creator, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Any type of investor should be looking at the pros and the cons. And I love that you are looking for what most people necessarily don't dig for. They may hear something from an influencer and they go, "Oh my God, it's going to go to $10,000. All I need is 200 coins, and I'm going to Lambo when?" And that's look. We have a responsibility. The people listening to us, they trust our opinions, and I absolutely believe. Is it a little far fetched of a price? Absolutely. I don't think it could go to it this cycle, but I can't sit there and say that it's impossible, because it's value brought on the network. But as somebody who has a platform and has a responsibility to people who maybe don't know much, I don't ever sit there and say, the $10,000 it's gonna happen, because I know no matter how many times I say, don't follow what I say, I'm only here to educate you. Please do your
financial advice. Yeah.
There's people out there where oh my God, he said this. Look, I think that like even another asset, QNT, right? I think that QNT could go to 50,000, 100,000 in due time, absolutely in due time. But I don't tell that to people. My official perspective on it is $10,000. I believe the token could go to. So we have a responsibility to people to not only give them the positives, but the cons to these assets. And that's what true education is. It's not about tribalism. Oh, my coin's going to win. No, we're talking about investing. This is money. If there's something wrong with the investment, people absolutely deserve to know. And I think that you are doing a fantastic thing for the community is kind of explaining to the average investor, the new person coming in, hey, look, if you think that it's going to go to $10,000, what do you think? Are you only holding 100 coins because you think if that's your investment strategy, holding 100 coins because the price is going to go to $100,000, you're going to lose, right? There are a ton of ways to make money in this project, and what that person is doing in that specific example is hoping onto hopium and investing with emotion rather than logic, and you are exposing that, and I absolutely commend you for that. That's a fantastic way to approach any type of project.
No, I appreciate that, bro. And that's like I said, I commend you too. You made very valid point that made sense, and I could see why you will believe, that's possible. But before, everyone just explained on why it would do it, and their explanation made no sense at all. Not even mathematically speaking, or even based on research, like how the whole system works. So, now moving on, HBAR, bro.
Yeah,
What you like about it?
Let's get into it. Yeah, look, I mean, I probably got into HBAR maybe 4 years ago. We were buying it for dirt cheap, but
Oh, you bought it less than 6 cents, bro.
we were getting it. It was very, very. We were getting into it, and I think that it's one of those projects. They cover just about everything, ladies and gentlemen. DeFi, tokenization, AI, payments. I mean, there's what is it that they don't cover? And then you look at like the governing council. Some people have centralization concerns with the governing council, but just the people that are involved, Google, IBM. I think Boeing just left. LG, right? You look at some of these people; they're looking at DLT, right? They're seeing if they could suit their needs. What is your perspective on HBAR? The things that excite you or things that scare you?
I mean, look, man, I honestly, so even though it's not a direct connection with Starlink, when I heard that partnership with Starlink, I said, man, anything Elon touches pretty much turns into gold, right? That's my point of view. I know there's a lot of people that absolutely hate the guy, but I respect him.
I like them.
Then there's like when they got involved with Equity Labs, when they got involved with Nvidia, I was like, man, this thing is one of those coins that if you sleep on it, you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life. And I mean, like you said, what area has an HBAR touched on that doesn't say that this thing is gonna do well? And last I recall, no, I'm actually getting confused because HBAR already got its own blockchain, right?
Hedera is not actually like a blockchain. I think they call it like a hash graph. It's just the means that they have the way that they go about it.
Yeah, no, so then I'm right. I heard like Q3, Q4, Q5, somewhere around there. They're gonna do their own blockchain. So official.
Are they gonna create? Is Hedera gonna create another token or something?
I don't think they're gonna create another token. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe I'm getting it confused with because I know Alchemy Pay for sure is gonna do its own token. Let me Google it here real quick. unless it's like a private blockchain. But I know they're gonna do something that it's involving a blockchain. Let me see. Sorry, I'm a little bit slower than most, but I'll
No,
get there.
that's okay. You're cooking.
No, I was gonna say, I promise I'll get there before Christmas, but I'll get there.
No, dude. Pull the chicken out of the fridge. That shit's got to defrost. I know you're about to cook something. No,
Yeah.
like I know as far like you did mention Starlink, but as far as I was aware, Hedera was working with it was more of like a T-Mobile and a Starlink partnership for the satellites, and Hedera won
Yeah, they also
T-Mobile,
got that going on.
right? It was like an indirect partnership with Starlink, but ultimately it was used for the satellite communications or something.
Well, look, just from the website, um, you can look at what they're building or who they're building with. I see LG in here. Um, I see a bank, Standard Bank. Oh my God, IBM,
Yes,
T-Mobile, yep, Dell Technology, BitGo. So right now, man, in my opinion, HBAR is like one of those coins that you shouldn't ignore. Not financial advice to anyone, but and the market cap is still extremely low. I mean, yeah, can't go wrong with it.
so some of the most recent things that Hedera has been doing, I don't know if you know, but via our checks, BlackRock and Fidelity have tokenized money market funds on Hedera. Um, Another thing that is really, really interesting is Project Arcacia, and that's actually I believe it's a CBDC development from Australia. There's Project Arcacia, and
Yeah, I saw that the Australian dollar, correct?
yeah, so they do have the AUDD, the Australian digital dollar, but I believe
Yeah.
Project Arcacia is more of like the CBDC side of what's going on with the Bank of Australia. But I mean, they're even working with or even like Intel, right? We have Intel and Nvidia. Intel
Yes.
and Nvidia came together. They're creating this superpower AI chip, and they are using Hedera for in order to verify the AI, all of the communications that's happening on that. So whether it's Nvidia, Intel, T-Mobile, the names, the adoption is there, the utilization, the ecosystem is growing so fast. Enterprises, central banks, stable coins, whether it's tech giants, the adoption is everywhere for Hedera.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I became bullish on HBAR and I actually regret it because, man, at 5 cents, I was gonna buy it. And I was like, let me just wait a little bit. 10 cents. I said, nah, this thing is too high up for me. Um, then it went to 15, all the way to like 50 something. I'm like, I'll just wait until it come back down. And then I finally got in at 25 cents. So right now, I'm not even losing. I'm just there.
Wadi. I mean, ultimately, I know you're a market cap guy. If you believe in the future, 5, maybe 10 years, that Hedera could reach XRP's market cap, you're looking at like a $4 Hedera, which is
Yes.
17x. You're right on time, baby, bro. You're right on
No,
time.
I know, man. I know it. But what I'm saying, like, I would have done better if I would have got in when you got in, right?
What? You're gonna be just fine, bro. You're gonna be just fine. Even now at $4, bro, at $100 million, whatever the market cap is, 100 whatever. 17x, man.
Yeah.
You can't get that in the stock market. You're not getting that with your rental properties. No way. You're right on time, dude. Still, even now,
No, I
guys.
mean, hey, man, I'm not complaining because, well, I own XOM, bro, and I got in on XOM when it was extremely cheap, bro. Like I kept going in and out, but that's one of my biggest holdings. And besides B chain, do you know anything about B chain?
I know a little bit about it. I have been looking into it. One of the things that
Oh
I am
my God, dude, you gotta do your research. We're talking about UFC partnership. We're talking about Walmart China. We're talking about BMW. We're talking about authenticating products, IoT devices, agricultural. Sorry, English is my second language. Um, like, let's say, for example, if you buy meat, right? They'll be able to authenticate and tell you how long it was, cut up, whatever. And dude, it's just insane. I was like, yeah, I've been holding BJ since forever. I'm not gonna
that's
lie.
actually I saw that
Yeah,
video. I think it was the like tokenizing the logistics or the supply chain from like the agribusiness, right? From farm to
yeah,
table.
yes,
I guess
yes,
a follower sent me this picture. It had nothing to do with VeChain, but there was a bottle of wine, and on there was a barcode that people
yes.
scanned, and it
They
said
they got a
verify
partnership
with
with
blockchain.
a winery, a big winery. So I'm telling you, man, there's nothing about BeChain that I don't love. And yes, a lot of people could argue, well, the price is a stable coin, blah, blah, blah. And I just tell them, well, let me hold on to my stable coin and we're all good, and then we'll see which one 100x, which versus whatever you're holding.
Yeah, guys, we talk about low market cap coins getting in early. This thing is less than 2 billion. Okay, this thing's sitting at about 2 cents. Now, look, don't get me wrong. When you're looking at the charts, little ups and downs, but for the most part, for the last 2 years, the thing has kind of just been moving sideways, which I've always said is not a bad thing. If you find a project that has great utility, has the adoption, and the network is moving in the right directions, I love when the charts are boring. I love when the charts move sideways because when people
Yep.
aren't talking about it, I can get in and I can accumulate a massive amounts of it. I have looked a little bit into VeChain. One of the only things that I truly do know about it was the like tokenization of the supply chain, all the data logistics aspect of it. But I didn't know anything about Walmart or the UFC partnership. I knew nothing about that.
Wait, I'm sorry about that. What was that?
I'm saying really one of the only things that I knew about VeChain was the tokenization of the agribusiness from the data logistics aspect of it. I didn't know anything about Walmart. I didn't know anything about the UFC partnership. None of that.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, bro. Like B Chain's partnership are off the wall. That's number one. Uh, Donna White is on the advisory board. Donna White himself. You know who Donna White is, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay. So he has a crap ton of connection to the point I was on a space and I got the pleasure to speak to Sonny Lou, and he mentioned like Donald's White connection goes as far as even the White House. That at this point, even Trump knows about B-Chain. I mean, it might sound like a little hopium, but the dude actually got connection, man.
I'd like to actually put you onto a project. If you know anything about it, it's Constellation DAG. Okay.
I heard of that. Yeah.
Yes. It's a layer zero. Okay, and it's pretty much centered around data security. When you're looking at some of the adoption for this Wadi, they have huge military adoption. U.S. Air Force, U.S. Space Force, U.S. Department of Defense, U.S. Department of Treasury, U.S. Transportation Command. Now, within all of those, I guess, military vehicles, as well as fire trucks and ambulances and police cars, in those squad cars, they have a computer system. I think it's Panasonic is the company. Well, DAG has a partnership with Panasonic, and it's basically like even your emergency services, that data or that computer system has to be encrypted to the highest extent in order for there not to be bad actors that want to act on emergency services. But particularly when you're looking at like Constellation DAG, they've been integrated with Chainlink as well. I think
Okay.
I'm not even sure what the market cap of DAG is. It's 104 million. It's $104 million market cap. This thing's sitting at 3 cents. I was actually looking into it today on how to become a validator for it. I've been talking to Aquaman a little bit. I know he just became a validator for the Metal.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I actually have it on my favorites list, so it's there. But continue with the info.
Yeah, no, Constellation DAG, ladies and gentlemen, $104 million market cap. The thing's sitting at 3 cents. Total supply is 3 billion. The one thing I don't like about it is they don't have a max supply. That's the one thing that I don't like about it.
I mean, right now circulating supply, well, total supply 3 billion, circulating supply 2.87 billion, and the max supply issue, it goes back to other tokens, that I spoke about in the past. For example, Doge, Ethereum, they all have continuous supply. Does that mean that they're gonna stay suppressed forever? I don't think so. So I'm not really too concerned about that part.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, my perspective on financial value, one of the bad things about the dollar is they have a unlimited amount of it. Even but the whole theory about these, I like assets that are deflationary. That's just my perspective. Like gold, I mean, the more that they mine, they bring to the surface for sure, but it's a limited supply. Even Bitcoin's fantastic with that as well. I think that they hit it right on the nail with the theory about supply. But the whole idea of some of these networks that do have a unlimited supply, max supply, is that they have this theory that the demand will at some point surpass the amount of coins that they continue to create. Even that with that being true, the price of it will still continue to go up. That's just their theory. That's
Yeah.
possible for some of these networks.
I'm sorry, man. I got distracted because I was also looking for the partnership that BChain did with FinTech and BitGo. And there was another partnership. But yeah, man, I mean, like I said, I'm not stressing supply. Now you said the word two before I put you on to my other one, which is the second one. Or do you want me to tell you mine and then you share yours?
I would love to hear. Feed me, bro. Teach me.
Uh-huh. Man, I honestly feel we all could learn from each other, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Um, Alchemy Pay, bro.
Okay, I don't know much about it. Please put me on.
All right, so Alchemy Pay. Here, let me give you the list of partnership. That's the one thing. That's
What?
that's
I love it.
uh
That's what I
my
love.
non-financial advice selling point. Hold on, let me tell you. So basically, Alchemy Pay, it's obviously a payment system. They are partner with Ripple. They are partner with uh T-Mobile, couple of exchanges, couple of wallets. Oh, here we go. I found it. Hold on. Let me bring that up. Nah, this is just the stablecoin one. All right. Well, blockchain infrastructure. We got Aptos, Chainlink, Mental Lab, PIF, Router, Avalanche, Layer Zero, OpenZK, QuickNode, uh, Brello, Manta, Polygon, Redstone, Taunt, right? When it comes to exchanges, Binance, Kraken, MoonPay. Yeah, let me get you the better list because, dude, Alchemy Pay is doing so much. And right now, bro, they've been doing tokenized asset where you could buy stocks on their app. And dude, I'm telling you, if I don't see Alchemy Pay above 20 cents or better, I'll be really disappointed. Right now, the total market cap, it's 191.4 million. Total supply, it's about 10 billion. And the current circulating supply is 9.31 billion. Easy gem, bro. Easy gem.
What do you think would be a conservative price point and a bullish price point?
Like I said, man,
Hmm.
conservative, 10 cents, 10 9 cents, right? Right now it's about 2 cents. Super bullish, 20 cents or better. And I believe it can happen because it has such low supply. 10 billion is really nothing,
Yeah,
man.
it's really not.
Yeah, so I, I put the math like this. If Ripple having 100 billion, right, in circulation, and it has made it to $3.66, then imagine Alchemy Pay. Obviously, I'm not talking about this cycle, and if it happens this cycle, then great. But I honestly believe there's no reason being super bullish why Alchemy Pay shouldn't hit at least $1.
I sure hope that that happens, my guy. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and look at that. I just saw today. No, this. I mean, I just saw the news today, but they also just partnered with World Liberty Finance.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Now, yeah, the new team. I don't know because before I was saying World Liberty Finance is trash. I don't trust it. And if you look at the history of the people that used to be in charge before, they did a total rebranding and they're pretty much scamming, right? But with the new team, we're talking about Donald Trump himself, we're talking about Eric Trump, and a whole lot of different people. So, non financial advice, obviously, check them out. But here, let me give you majority of the partnership that are involved with Alchemy Pay. So as far as blockchain, Polygon, Stellar, Albitron, Celo, Internet Computer, Ton, Algorand, Say, Clayton, IOTX, VChain, Conflux, uh, Morph, never heard of it, Neo, Viction, Ontology, XDC, Tsui, Map Protocol, Alph, Harmony, One, Manta, BNB Chain, Vision, Phoenix, ODs, Polkadot. The ones I don't know, I'm not going to mention. Zeta Chain, Caspa. So those are all on the blockchain side. If you want to know in the trading partnerships, we have BingX, Bybit, Big Ed, Kraken, KuCoin, Crypto.com, Coinbase, HTX, PancakeSwap, OKX, Binance, right? And there's way more MEXC and way more people, right? But let's get into the payment partnership. We're talking about Google Pay, Visa Pay, Apple Pay, um, PayPay, never heard of them. Sounds like the meme coin. Uh, and there's more partnership, but I just gave you like the biggest brands.
That's a hell of a deep dive. Ladies and gentlemen, throw some W's in the chat for Wadi, bro. That was a fucking hell of a deep dive.
Appreciate that.
I gotta watch a little YouTube video. I gotta have to dig a little bit into that as well. Is that a long term hold for you? What is your do you have an exit?
It is a long time hold for me. I get in on Alchemy Pay like around 1 cent or so. So
Wow.
And I've been talking about Alchemy Pay to my audience for a good minute now. Like I said, obviously we don't know what the future holds, but I think they've been doing pretty good and they're just building silently. Yeah.
All right. Can I put you on to one thing and then I'd like to jump into another conversation?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to give you the choice between one of the two. I have QNT Quant or Internet Computer Protocol. Which one would you rather?
I like both of them, but I would say Quant.
Okay. So, I mean, in terms of pure supply and demand, 14.8 million coins is all that will ever exist. Bitcoin's 21 million. So about 33% less of the supply than Bitcoin. When you take a look at some of the central bank ties to Quant, if you give me 1 second.
Okay.
I know that they recently just had something come out with the European Central Bank as well. So they have been through multiple CBDC tests, whether that's through Project Rosalind, which I encourage everybody to go on YouTube and learn what Project Rosalind is, as well as I believe they were involved with Project Agora as well. These are two CBDC test trials from either the BIS or the International Monetary Fund. But some of the central bank ties that QNT has is Bank of England, Bank of Canada, Bank of Israel, Bank of Japan, the Fed Reserve of New York, Monetary Authority of Singapore, European Central Bank, Bank of Hungary, Bank of Korea, Bank of France, Bank of Spain, Bank of Italy, and Bank of Thailand. Now, that's institutional or central bank, interest in it. Now, in terms of the actual tech stack, right, QNT is not a blockchain. It's actually an interoperability layer. And they just came out with something called Quant Fusion. It's a brand new patented layer 2.5. Essentially what this is it allows their clients to tap into public and private blockchains. Now, for those of you guys who may not know, public blockchains is visible to everybody, right? And one of the great things about public blockchains is they are hubs for liquidity. There are tons of liquidity in the public chains. But the bad thing about public chains is that information on the chain is visible to everybody. Anybody can go in there and take a look at the transactions on the public chains. Now, the thing about private chains, right? Everyone's heard of the private ledgers, right? The good things about the private ledgers is it's very secure, right? This would be good for your hospitals or your lawyer offices or anyone that needs security of the data that they can't have people actually look in there and see what's going on, right? Banks is a perfect example as why they would want a private ledger, because that data is secure. But the downside to private chains is they lack liquidity. Each private ledger essentially only has the liquidity within that own silo. So all these private ledgers, the liquidity is trapped. They don't have access to public liquidity, and the public chains don't have access to the private sensitized data that a lot of institutional adoption needs. So what Quant did was they actually solved one of these major friction points that their clients require. So now Quant actually allows them to tap into public and private blockchains to get the best of both worlds. And it's a fantastic project. Now, speaking of the team, I believe the founder, I think he's the CEO, but he is the founder of Quant. His name is Gilbert Verdian. He was a cybersecurity expert for over 20 years. I believe he worked for something in the UK, but he was a huge top of his industry cybersecurity guy. And then he ultimately left whatever position he was. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact company or what country ties he has, but he left that position of 25 years to create Quant. But before he did that, he actually created his own ISO standard. This ISO standard is ISO TC307, and now this is the standard for interoperability of blockchains. So he created the standard and then created the coin. Now, there's a lot of blockchains out there that are ISO TC307 compatible, compliant, whatever words you want to use. A lot of times in the space, people only ever really know of ISO 222. But ISO TC307 is the standard for blockchain. It's probably one of the most important, if not even more relevant than ISO 222. Now, Gilbert Verdian created this ISO standard, and QNT ultimately is the one that's really kind of like at the forefront of this ISO standard. So whether it's central bank adoption or enterprise adoption, I even think like in terms of clients, the huge tech company Oracle is utilizing Overledger. So there's institutional interests, central bank interests. In terms of the actual tech stack and the technology that they are developing, there's nobody out there. Well, Chainlink does interoperability, Axelar does interoperability, but they kind of target different things. They don't exactly do the same thing. They do interoperability, but they're not really doing the same things when you actually do the deep dive of it. But QNT, in terms of what they are doing, the tech stack of interoperability, I believe is a reason why I honestly believe QNT can go to a $1 trillion market cap. I believe that QNT can go to absolutely a $100 billion market. and that's just based off of pure, even if you want to just say pure tokenomics. In due time, I do believe Q&T could go to $1 trillion, but my official stance on it is probably, I think it could be not financial advice, but I think that it could absolutely be a $10,000 coin, and that's just my personal opinion. But I'm very, very excited for Q&T, the development, and the price action for this token. I think it's something people should be learning about.
Yeah, so I used to follow Quan a lot. I kind of backed up because I'll be honest, I'm more of like if you want to call it penny stock type of guy. I like my coins on the dollar at least. So, but no, I got a friend. His name is Maximus Crypto.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Very, you know him?
Oh, I watch him all the time. I think just became friends on Twitter, but I've been learning from him for years. He's a fantastic.
Yeah,
that's a guy that does deep dive researches. He's a fantastic.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Max will find, man, even the minimum detail.
Yes.
And and that's one thing that got us to be friends, because it's like there were, at least from our circle, there weren't really researchers. There were more like hopium and hype, and he loved talking about Quan. Majority of his thing, it was just Quan based on fact. And then one day I was like, "Hi Max, you know what? You can business me, bro. I'm gonna buy a few, just to hold it and see." And that's all I did. I just bought enough. If things goes, so like you said, because he believed that it could be just as big as Bitcoin. I'd said if it goes there, then I'm good.
Yeah, right.
That's all I gotta say. You get what I'm saying?
Well, he needs a few. No, yeah, I've been buying it for years, and Maximus Crypto, guys, you should check out his YouTube. This is somebody who digs through PDFs. He digs through interviews. This guy, in terms of,
Yes.
if you think me and Wadi, we present the information very well, and we do fantastic research as well. But he's someone that I learned from, in terms of some of these projects. Guys, Maximus Crypto on YouTube and on Twitter. I think it's DGP Maximus on Twitter. But please check him out. He is a fantastic asset to the space. I've learned years I've been learning from him.
Yeah, right. Crazy small world, right? So, now I'm saying that's crazy. It's a small world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually really funny. It's kind of interesting that you have a relationship with him. I don't have a relationship with him. I've just been somebody who's been watching videos for years and years and years. But that is really cool that you have a relationship with him, and you guys can bounce these investments off of each other.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't talked to him in a minute. Last I spoke to him was when his dad passed away. But yeah, man, I hit him up maybe a week or two ago, because a fake account of him was trying to at me and like, "Hey, how your crypto doing?"
Yeah. Let me
I
help.
laughed, bro.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna help you. I'm gonna give you free money. Please respond to me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, I mean, Quan is definitely on, not even my watch list. It's actually on my portfolio, bro. Because once again, 14.88 million supply. Come
Nothing.
on, man.
It's not.
Come
That's
on.
nothing.
You get what I'm saying?
You know what's
That's
really
why
interesting,
when
Wadi?
you told me ICBR Quan, bro, that was easy.
You know what's really interesting about Quant? So in terms of the supply, there is less than 200,000 Quant left on the spot reserves. So there is 140,000 quant wallets out there. Now, I have multiple quant wallets, but just assume each person has one wallet. There's
Yeah.
140,000 quant holders out there. If every quant holder bought 1.2%, 1.2 quant, there would be no quant left on the exchanges for anyone to buy. There's less than 200,000 quant available for purchase on the spot reserves.
Yep.
There's
I
nothing.
know. Imagine Quan being, because I heard a lot of people before, hey man, I wish I had another shot at Bitcoin.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is as close as you ever gonna get.
I believe it is as close. And look, whether it's $1 trillion or a $500 billion market cap that it could ever go to, let's say that, even if it doesn't, like you say, as close to Bitcoin as it could get, let's say that it doesn't even go to 100,000, even if it went to 50,000, that's still the second chance at a Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I believe that it is kind of, a second chance for some people. I believe it. Go to those numbers, but for
Yeah.
let's go back to becoming an educated investor into reality, ladies and gentlemen. $10,000, I think, is very far more doable.
Well, how about this? We're gonna at least, because I do believe 12 billion to 14 billion market cap for Quan is doable. So let's just realistic point of view, $1,000. Okay.
For sure.
Now,
Even go with
yeah,
that, man.
yeah,
That's a fantastic return. That's a
yeah.
fantastic return, regardless. Yeah, I'm excited about it. If we could, I would like to ask you some rapid questions and just get a little answers out of you. All right.
Go ahead, man.
What was the first coin that you ever bought?
Whoo. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash.
Okay. Any reason why?
Because I thought it was the second Bitcoin.
All right. Let's go into
I'm being
number two.
honest, bro.
Wadi, let's go into number 2. What is the worst coin that you ever bought?
Shit, Safe Moon, bro.
I don't even know what that
Which
is.
is a meme coin. It's a meme coin. I got wrecked.
If you had to hold one coin for 10 years, no selling, what would be your pick?
Big chain.
Okay. What's the most slept on project right now?
What's the most slept on project right
Yes.
now? Alchemy Pay.
Okay. What do you do outside of crypto to relax?
Workout. Gym. That's it. Spend time with my family.
Are you a big family man? So am I. I absolutely love that about you. YouTube or TikTok? What's your favorite platform?
TikTok.
Favorite crypto wallet right now?
Unchained by crypto.com. Because you can actually add a two-factor authenticator to it.
Do you trust Tether?
You know,
This we could go into.
I'm gonna, I know it's a yes or no
We
question,
could go into this.
but
More than
okay,
happy to talk.
so let me explain. Well, everyone is freaking out. They're saying Tether is gonna go to zero, blah, blah, blah. I kept saying, no, it's not. If Tether go to zero, then the crypto market is in trouble,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So that's why the first thing when I said, I found it a little bit suspicious that in one of the White House interview, President Trump was thanking a couple of key players in crypto, and he mentioned the CEO of Tether. And now it turns out that Tether, by the end of Q4, by the end of Q4, Q3, is going to come out with a US compliant stablecoin.
I heard that as
So
well. And
yes,
you know what was interesting? I was watching the signing of the Genius Act, which is the U.S. Stablecoin regulation in the United States for everyone, just to catch you guys up. And the CEO of Tether was there. I thought that that was pretty interesting because as far as my research, I don't believe that Tether is it's not MiCA compliant, and I don't believe that it's Genius compliant as well. So I was a little confused as to why he was there for the signing of the Genius Act. But as you said, it could be because they're creating another coin. But if I could, I'd like to kind of dig on your perspective here. Why would Tether? Why would Tether make a? Why would they want to make a second coin? Why wouldn't? I know it's because of the reserves. You know what I'm saying? They want to hold on to Bitcoin, things like that. I know why they don't want to go into the regular. I understand, but to make a second coin, maybe you could explain to me as like what's your thought process on this?
well, if I'm honest, I don't have the answer to that. What I hope for is maybe that the person that wrote the article, maybe there's some way somehow misunderstood, and just that overall that will make Tether US compliant. That will make more sense to me than anything else. But in case they did decided to just create another stablecoin, it will make sense just for the simple fact that Tether has been catching a lot of heat for a long time. I think that will be the only reason why. It's like Schmack, thank you so much, appreciate you. It's like some of these coins, right? I don't know if you heard about them rebranding.
No.
Okay, well, not all of them do it, but some of these coins they rebrand. They're just, in my opinion, try to either reset their chart or clean up some messes of the past, and they take the easy way out and they rebrand. So in this case, I think because Tether has getting a lot of heat, or not even, let's just say maybe, just maybe, it's just because I heard that their new headquarters is going to be here in the US as well.
Do you so as far as the market's concerned, Tether, and I think Tether is a good thing for the crypto market. It gives a lot of people
Oh yes.
stability of the U.S. dollar, especially in other countries where their dollar is kind of weak. So I think that it's a good thing for the market. It's the largest coin. I'm not hoping for the downfall, but regulations is kind of a concern for me because if it can't comply and they kind of get pushed out of the market, whatever. That's neither here nor there. But one of the things that I think concerns me about Tether is that it's very much retail focused and retail. It's in the retail ecosystem. As far as I'm aware, not so much the institutional side of stablecoins. So the one thing that I'm aware of Tether, maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, but Tether lacks the regular full audits. I know that they have the attestations, but they're not actual audits. So do you think that they have the ability to actually receive that institutional adoption if they do get away from the attestations and go into the audits? What do you think that they could shift out of that retail into that institutional?
Well, but you see, that's the thing. Like, in my opinion, Tether, because I've been, in crypto since 2018. And in my opinion, man, Tether has proven itself to be trustworthy. Yes, it has depegged from the US dollar a couple of times, but then this is where they once again show that they are reliable. Because not even a full day and Tether is pegged back to the US dollar. So, in my humble opinion, I think that they should be able to get out of it and they should be able to make everything compliant without an issue. They also have a big reserve of gold. I don't know if you know about that. So, I mean, from what I heard last time, it's one of the biggest reserve of gold.
Somebody had commented something, and maybe I could give an answer, and you could give an answer. Jose says, "Will they give Tether a pass on being audited and just let it rebrand as clean state?" As far as I'm concerned, uh, it's going to be specific to USDT. If they do come out with another stablecoin, that would be technically on its clean state. But Tether, as the company, is kind of in terms of maybe the
Yeah,
USDT
but
itself
think
would.
think about it. Think about it this way, right? If they come out with a new stable coin focus on US only client, right? Um, they got more options now. One, yes, they'll get a clean slate because at the end of the day, if there is no official proof in the past, obviously the SEC, the CFTCs, they haven't been able to pin them down 100%, right? And you know that they came after all these other companies, they got them all, including Binance. So, in my opinion, yeah, the insider will probably get a pass. And then, if even Coinbase allows it, they're probably gonna have the Tether new coin, unless it's probably USDT US. I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think my perspective on it, it's actually the asset that lacks the audits, rather than uh, I guess it's the company that undergoes the audits. I don't know if they create a new asset, then that asset is the one that's going to have to uh, undergo, I guess, the compliancy, right? The compliancy is dependent to the asset, not necessarily the issuer. So if they do create a new coin, that as long as that coin is held to the highest standard of regulations and compliance and whatever whatever type of reserve backings that it needs, then it's dictated by the asset and not necessarily the issue. That's
So
that's kind
yeah,
of my
so
opinion.
here I found the thing. It says so the CEO says a new US stablecoin will be announced. You heard the keyword. A new US stablecoin will be announced soon. It will follow US rules, focus on payments and trading, and is expected to launch by the end of 2025. So it is a new coin overall.
Wow, soon. It could be very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if they are creating the new coin, they would probably be trying to target that institutional demand. I guess that's
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. It
yeah.
could be also because of that.
Okay, can I jump into these a few more questions for you, Wadi?
Yes, sir.
All right, baby. Cold wallet or a hot wallet?
Honestly speaking, yes, cold storage is the safest, but if you don't have the money to afford something like the stacks, which is one of my favorite, then I suggest you grab. Obviously, I ain't talking about flip phone, okay? Don't go getting an Obama phone and try to put a Android app on it. Um, get a old phone Let's say, for example, there's the Galaxy 25. There's that's the newest one. If you got the 23, even the 10, just wipe that phone clean. And then what you're going to do is you're going to install crypto.com on-chain wallet. You're going to make sure you put your security code. You're going to make sure you add the two-factor authenticator. And from there, once you transfer your asset into, obviously, save your C phrases. Do not save it on a storage. I mean, on a Google storage. Do not save it on a Dropbox. Any cloud type of storage. Do not save it on your notes. You want to literally write it down manually on a piece of paper and put it, if you got a little house safe, put it there. Now, what's the next step after all of that? You transfer your crypto in there, and then afterwards, you're going to put your phone off Wi-Fi. You're only going to turn on that phone whenever you need to do a crypto transaction.
Very interesting.
See, what a lot of people don't understand, that is exactly what a cold storage is. It's just air gap to the internet. There's no Bluetooth connection. There's no NFC connection. There's no Wi-Fi connection.
Very interesting. Are you typically a long term investor, or are you doing a little trading?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. He definitely wants the short term and the long term.
Nah, a little bit of both. Like I got my little portfolio that's teaching me never to hold again because I am naturally a trader. But yeah,
What is one crypto term that everybody should understand?
FOMO and FUD, definitely can
Yes.
miss that.
How do you filter FOMO from smart moves?
How do I what?
How do you filter out FOMO from smart moves?
Okay, FOMO usually happens when you see a lot of green candles, right? That's when the new people is gonna come and jump in, and that's when they get wrecked. That's called FOMO, fear of missing out. Now, a smart move would be, let's say, for example, you've seen that asset been trading sideways for a couple of months. You don't necessarily gotta know trading. You could just go to a website like CoinMarketCap, see the sentiment, and maybe on the first or second green candle, that's when you want to jump in. Not when you're on the seventh or the eighth, because then you're gonna get wrecked.
How do we shift the mentality of being a green candle chaser, a a Twitter follower, I guess, an emotional investor? How do you shift the community from being emotional to being a logical, confident investor?
Well, I'll tell you what, bro. If I'm honest, it took me a while. The reasons why, because everyone wants to make money, right? And the first thing you see is the hype. You see everyone talking about how this coin can 10x, 20x, and you want a little bit of, you want a piece of the action. But then when you start getting wrecked over and over and over again, doing the same thing, chasing green candle, that's when you realize, look, let me stop FOMOing in. I'll give you a perfect example. Bunk, right? I was looking at Bunk. I could have got in early, like around 22, 18, because I actually said, look, this thing looks like it's about to break out. Even though me personally, I'm probably 88% convinced that it was going to break out, but safety reasons, I got to say it might. Now, when Bunk went from 1825, from 25 to I think almost 38, right? Around 35, I had the itchy finger, and that's the FOMO. And I'm like, get in, get in, get in. And then I'm like you got them two little, the little angel here, the
Yeah.
little demon here. One's telling you do it, the other one is like, no, no, no. So, long story short, I was like, I know better. This thing is too high up. It took 3 to 4 days before it actually freaking dump like I thought it would. So it's experience, bro. That's the only thing I could tell you.
NFTs, future, or is it a fad?
I don't like NFTs.
Explain.
Okay, so first of all, let me mention I got wrecked on Trump's NFT.
I
Okay,
didn't know he had an NFT.
yeah, he had an NFT. Yeah, I had the cool superhero Trump one. Um, so with NFT, this is the biggest problem. If there is no demand on it, you might be able to buy it, but you will never be able to sell it. So,
Someone has to be willing to buy it at whatever price you're trying to sell it
huh?
at. Someone has to be willing to buy it at the price you're trying to sell
Exactly. That's my point. I mean, you could say the same thing for crypto, but with NFT, it's such low demand that, yeah. Or if you bought it at 10 ETH and there's someone that's only willing to buy it for 8, if you don't want to, the NFT go all the way to 2 ETH, you don't have no other choice but to sell it to 8.
Yeah, to be honest, dude, when NFTs really started to come out, I was so skeptical over it, and I really wanted nothing to do with it. I think the NFTs that I ever had received were like airdrops. It was completely free, and look, the entire market fucking took a tank. It absolutely took a crap. Um,
Yeah.
and I think over the years, and I've always been kind of anti NFT, but my thought process over the years kind of shifted once I started to, I guess, hear about like institutions wanting to utilize NFTs. Are you aware with what's going on with that?
Wait, I'm sorry. I got distracted because someone said 7 exit now, JPY getting to 154, 155. That's where a great recession starts, and I expect in August. So, if that is to be true, call me crazy, but it's more than welcome because that's how millionaires are made. That's all. Yeah, sorry, bro. What was the last part that you
Um,
asked?
Institutional interest in NFTs. Are you aware with?
Look, so institutional interest that is yet to be proven, in my opinion, because look at the biggest NFT. What was it? Board Ape Yacht Club, right? If I remember correctly, I think it was Crypto. I know one of them, Crypto or the Moon. They bought an NFT of Bore Yacht Club for $1 million. And right now, that thing is like about 10K or so. So if you think about it from that point of view, and you think how institutions work, do you really think institutions are going to risk capital to get involved into NFT?
Well, I to be honest with you, NFTs is at its basic core, it's like ownership, right? It's like digital ownership of an asset. I don't
Yeah.
think the future of NFTs are like the like kind of like you're gonna make money on it, like an investing strategy. I don't think that that's the way to go about it. But and maybe I only started to pick up on this in the last couple of months with the NFTs because I've kind of always thought I'm going to lose money. But from what I've seen with the institutions that are interested in NFTs, the use cases for them are pretty interesting. If I can, I'd like to read some of it.
Yeah, yeah, by all means.
So some of the institutional use cases for NFTs would be art and media, as we see, but maybe not so much on the retail side, but more for like artists and media companies trying to tokenize arts or collectibles. And an example of this is Warner Music. They are actually tokenizing some. What are they tokenizing? They have NFT releases from popular artists. I swear to God, I thought like.
So, so I'll give you a quick example. If NFT was used like, tokenization, let's say I want to buy a house, right? And that house contract probably is in a NFT format, right? Then I go on well, let's make it simpler. A house is probably too much. But I want to
Concert
buy
tickets.
a car, right? And, you got the car, you got the NFT to it. Once you transfer the ownership of the NFT to me, then I get to keep that car, right? And
Yeah.
obviously, I pay you whatever the car is worth. Then I could see kind of a use case there for an NFT. But other than that, really, what is there? You get what I mean?
So what I'm particularly looking at with the research of NFTs, maybe not so much on the retail side, but like sports and entertainment is another one. This could be like if you have a ticket on your phone for entry into the Knicks game, you know what I'm saying, or even like concert tickets, airline tickets, right? Your boarding pass. An example of somebody who has already started to use NFTs as a means of a boarding pass is Air Asia, Coachella as well. Coachella, as in terms of like a
Yeah.
concert, we're using NFTs for their tickets. So in terms of like that type of utility and use case, I can understand that because like concert tickets and things like that, for
But
sure.
okay, but what would be the difference between doing that, which makes it a little bit more complicated, than using Ticketmaster or Google Pass or Samsung Pass? You get what I mean?
Yeah, so the benefits for them to kind of adopt the NFT technology would be like reducing fraud. That's a big thing for them. Maybe like transparency, right? The blockchain would be able to verify the actual ownership of whoever was purchasing it. Uh,
Yeah.
even like even for like the for the people that are creating the music, right? If they want to NFT their album or whatever,
Well, that there I could see a use case because
right? A smart contract
once
would pay
upon a
out the
time,
royalties for that.
yeah, once upon a time, like I'm a songwriter. I wanted to be a rapper, and like when it comes to copywriting, if you don't want to do it, the Portsman copyright, as they mention it, and you don't have the money to send it to Washington and get it copyrighted officially, then I think putting your music on the blockchain will be the best form of copyright.
I think it's inevitable. I think it's going to happen.
Yes.
Um, And maybe if I can, to branch a little bit away from NFTs and onto AI and crypto. What is your opinion? Are they ultimately going to inevitably merge? Are they beneficial for each other? AI and crypto.
Well, AI definitely is a benefit. I mean, in my opinion, it's even a blessing. Crypto, obviously, the same thing. When it comes to AI, man, like, I don't know if you know, but I created my own indicator, trying to make traders, especially beginners, that are getting into crypto, understand how to chart. And I use AI for that. Like, I know a little bit of coding, but certain things that I don't know, dude, AI helped me out through the whole process. So
It's amazing.
AI has its advantage if you know how to use it properly.
Yeah, I mean, I actually even think like AI on chain. I think AI and blockchain complement each other to a certain extent,
Yes.
right? Like you can have an AI verify the smart contracts, documentation and the step processes, right? It can verify the smart, regardless whether it's smart contracts or an AI agent, right? If we're saying okay, blockchain is going to be integrated in with, if you could become your own bank in crypto, and now you have an AI agent. Maybe that AI agent, hey, send a payment over to Wadi, and the AI agent would be able to communicate with my mobile banking, which
Yeah,
or
yeah.
my wallet, maybe my wallet, and 1030, HBAR to Wadi. Maybe the AI agents would be able to connect and use that type of transaction history. But you're even seeing it with like, the NVIDIA and Intel, right? And crypto, right? They're
Yeah,
using
yeah.
blockchain to verify the AI on those chips. And like, I think it's inevitable, they're inevitably going to crash into each other and benefit each other.
No, like I said, from that point of view, like I could see a great use case. I don't know if it's just me, bro, but I'd rather do everything manually. If I need to send you 5 ETH, I'd rather send it. Make sure that AI agent didn't make any mistake. Send you 20 instead of five.
I don't want to offend you, bro, but were you born in the 80s? Are you an
Huh?
80s baby?
Yeah, I am a 80s guy, bro.
He has to verify it himself. His brain is the computer. No,
Yeah,
no,
that's it.
absolutely.
I don't like working. You get indicator. Oh, so I mean, I don't want to shield. So, with your permission, if I made, if not, it's okay.
Yeah, dude, whatever, bro. What's up?
So, my indicator, you only get access to it by subscribing to my channel. Then you have to obviously follow me and send me a DM with your TradingView username. Then that's how you get access to it. Now, if you want the free indicator, just type in Wabi Crypto X and you should be able to see the free one.
Can we touch up on this a little bit more for maybe your beginner crypto investors? What exactly is an indicator, and why would somebody want to? Why would somebody want to use yours?
Yeah, so when it comes to cryptocurrency indicator, yes, they are called a lagging indicator. I try to get it as precise as possible, but usually is the best way for you to be able to tell where the market is moving, especially if you're new to trading. Like, for example, there's the moving averages, there's the exponential moving average. My indicator has the exponential moving average, the 9 and the 20. It's meant for scalping. And when the 9 crosses above the 20, you get a buy signal. On top of that, the back of the, like the background, the trend turns green. So as long as that trend turns green, you're still gonna see everything going up. And then once you see that the 9 goes below the 20, you're probably gonna get the sell signal, and then the trend turns red. And that's usually your indication for you to get out. It's not perfect, especially on choppy days, but if you've been in crypto long enough, you should kind of tell when the market is just trading sideways. Or if you want to combine it with like a Bollinger Band, that would tell you that it is trading sideways.
So it's very simple to use. It's very pleasing to the eye. It's there.
Yes.
There is no mistaking it. It's kind of the best means of which to make the best educated decision on your buy.
Yes. Yes. I mean, if you want to use bigger time frame, 15, 1 hour, you get less false signal. That's what I've been working out, how to make it more precise. I mean, I got one now that I am here. Let me see. Give me a minute. Let me switch the camera. Hopefully, I don't drop the phone, so I can show you the one that I'm using now. And do not mind my mess, if anything. It's not that big, but still messy. Oh, switch camera. Okay, so can you see it?
Yep.
Wait. Oh, shoot.
How is
Well,
that? How is that the TikTok 4K video cam? How is that?
yeah, that's the Logitech 4K.
Is it
Hold
good?
on, let me remove this. I like it. I mean, I don't use the mic on it. I prefer to use my Shure mic, but other than that, it's good.
Okay, yeah, I've been
All
seeing
right,
it on my
so let me bend this camera over real quick so you guys could see the whole thing. Okay, can you see it there?
Yes.
Okay, so you see when it went green?
Yep.
That's basically the uptrend. And before it was red. So you get buy and sell signal. This is on the daily chart. You can also use it on the 5 minute. You could use it on the 1 hour, pretty much on any. But if you want more, how you say it, more concrete, or well, like a short way to get in, maybe like 1 hour or so. 1 hour and better.
That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you're new or you're experienced, if you are looking for a way to get a little bit of more of an educated guess on your buys and your sells, please reach out to Wadi. Please look into his indicator. I think it comes down to education. If it's a tool to help you make an educated investment or an educated prediction on where the market is moving, by all means, it's a tool that leads to your success. Guys, please check that out for him.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right. I would like to get into some closing conversations. I got about 15 minutes left on the live. I'd like to ask you, what is the legacy that you hope to leave in the space, not just in crypto, but for the people that follow you?
Yeah, well, hopefully, because I am trying to create a legacy, I always said I don't want to be known as Wadi, the poor guy with a disability. I want to be known like, man, this guy helped me out, helped me achieve financial freedom. He motivated me, to always do better. Things like that. Like that's what I'm trying to make sure that at the end of the day, hopefully, and God willing always, we end up winning. And that I made that possible as well.
I think I'm with you on that. I think for me, it's these. I don't. I really, yeah, the money's great, but I don't care about the money. For me, I get a sense of fulfillment and purpose out of this, knowing that
Yes.
there's just one person that I helped maybe change the way that they thought about investing or the way that they research. Maybe that helps them in the future for whatever endeavorments they decide to go down. But it's the aspect of helping somebody in the space that kind of gives me that fulfillment. Just one person. I just need one person to learn one thing. That's it.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Like I told you, I was introduced through crypto through a scam, but thanks to that scam, I also got to learn crypto and everything else, and I became like a freaking mini Einstein in the crypto space. So um, I just want to be able to show people that it is possible. Like I don't talk about this too often, especially because I know I could get in trouble. But I had a little bit of a taste of what crypto could do and how it can change your life. Let me give you a little bit of my background. I'm a brother, I'm a son, father of two beautiful daughters. I'm also a husband, right? And my family grew up pretty poor. I'm not saying like street living poor, but low income. And for the first time in history, I got a little taste of what crypto could do. Unfortunately, I fell for the one penny hype on Shiba Inu and I lost a lot. Like after being up so nicely done, first time in history, I saw 90K in my entire life, bro. And I, like I said, I believed the hype, and then it started dropping. I didn't lose absolutely everything, but I lost more than enough that 90K would have served me better. But what I ended up doing with that little bit of money is what I had left. I took my family on a vacation. I rented out a real nice Airbnb pool and everything in Florida. But my mother some couch and a brand new fridge, high tech. Probably too high tech for her. Um, and dude, I'd seen the beauty of crypto and what crypto could do for you.
You've seen
And
both sides.
that's
You've
huh?
seen both sides of it. You've seen the absolute worst, and you've seen the absolute best of it.
Yes. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help as many people as I can, bro. Just that, like I said, God willing, be like, man, that guy, yeah, he has his limitation, but sharp, he has a very sharp mind and he helped me achieve this. That's what I want, man.
Dude, your realness, your resilience, and your energy is absolutely unmatched in this space. You've been through the best, you've been through the worst, and you're still just laser focused on what needs to be done and what's coming. So, with that being said, what's next for you? Any projects, any collabs that the people in your family should be keeping their eyes on? The people online should be keeping their eyes on. What's next for you?
No, I mean for me, bro, I'm waiting on the outgoing season or the full throttle bull run, and then from there, hopefully making it to where I want to make it. I'd said I'm really hoping that I could surprise my wife, be like, babe, look, we went from living in the projects to owning our own house with a pool. And that's basically it, man. I mean, only God knows really what can happen next from here. I have no
Babe, I
control
got
over
the
that.
lottery ticket. I
Yeah,
got the winning lottery ticket in my hand.
that's it.
It's
That's it.
here. I hit the fifth number.
Yep. That's the only thing I'm doing. I'm telling people. I try to tell my friends. Some of them they're like, "Man, I don't believe in that." I'm like, "Bro, you missing out, man." Even my sister, when Bitcoin went to 3K, with I try to tell her like, buy Bitcoin. You guys could afford it. I couldn't. I started crypto with $500, bro. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not rich, but
You're smiling.
yeah,
You're smiling.
it should make me enough money with what I got. That's all I'm saying.
You're having a great time. You're laughing along the way.
Yeah,
No, I went through something like I had family members I've tell for years, friends I tell for years. Some people act, some people don't. That's okay. But even like some people in my family, man, like they had the coins sitting on Coinbase, and someone at the bar watched them type in the passcode and pickpocketed them and got access to their whole phone and gone. Everything was gone, and now they have a distaste in
yeah.
their mouth for it. They say, "No, I'm not interested. I don't want it. I don't want it." So some people view that as a deterrent. Some people view that as okay. I'm gonna win. It's gonna be a little harder for me, but I'm gonna win.
No, I tell my mom all the time, and she kind of laughs because she doesn't understand, crypto. She doesn't obviously, but I've been telling my mom, I'm like, watch, one day your son is gonna be rich.
Yeah,
And she says, okay, that's it. And she smiled.
yeah.
And I get like, okay, you don't believe me, but it's okay. And but once again, it's because she doesn't understand, what is crypto, what I'm even doing. And dude, I really believe that I can make it through crypto. And if I don't make it, then I guess I got some more learning to do, right?
Yeah, dude, if you don't, you're in the very same position that you were in a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Nothing in your life has changed. You're in the same position you were. Yeah, it's the same with my parents. My mother doesn't really understand it, and my father does get it. But it's not a very easy thing to understand. You know what I'm saying? Um, let alone have a foresight for what the next 5 to 10 years could be. That's not a easy thing to do. Do you have
Yeah.
any words that you live by? Do you have a quote or a mindset that keeps you grounded, especially during the bad days?
No, that was actually gonna be a joke. I was gonna call 50 cents, get rich or die trying. No,
I
I'm
love
kidding.
it. Yeah.
No, my motive is life is too short to live in regrets and try to make the best of it. That's it.
That's a beautiful mentality. That's the way I think everybody should be living. Um, what is your advice to people out here chasing a dream as you are, as I am? There's a lot of people chasing freedom like you and I are, and we believe that crypto is ultimately the road that will lead us to that freedom of time, financial freedom, in a grand scheme of things, just freedom. Uh, what would be your advice for someone grinding their 9 to 5 while they are trying to actively build their dreams?
Well, I would say this, like, Crypto can, so like I tell one of my friends, he's a older guy, about his 60 by now, and I tell him all the time, Willie, how much money have you spent on lottery ticket? Over the years, more than 100K, right? That's his answer. And I just tell him, Willie, look, if you get into crypto and you're patient, all you probably got to do is wait until the next halving, and whatever you put in, it's gonna take off, right? So, with that being said, I think crypto is the easiest way to financial freedom as long as you are investing in the correct coins. I'm not talking about all these meme coins. Yes, they could be fun. Yes, some could make you money, but I'm talking about real utility coins.
I think that that's where we have common ground. Ultimately, that is the future. That is, the media, they want to feed you that hype machine. And I always say there's
Yeah.
three ways that you can people mess this up. It's one, you buy the wrong things. Two, it's you're emotional, you FOMO in, whatever it is. And three, you don't custody or protect your digital assets properly. That's kind of my opinion to some people. That's really kind of the. I'm sure there's a little bit more, but three ways that most people end up screwing this up for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both come to. I think we found a lot of common ground, dude. I think we both understand that this is going to be the greatest transformational wealth in the history of the world, and it's going to be rewarded to the people who took risk, the people who did their homework. They got out of an exhausting day, and they got behind the computer and they researched and they understood what it was, no matter how difficult it was to read it. And honestly, dude, I'm really excited to watch your story progress and see your success come to life, man. I'm so excited
Appreciate that,
to
bro.
be part of this journey with you.
No, I appreciate that, bro. And I just want to say thank you for the invite. You're a great host, and man, likewise, bro. I want to see you, as they say, on top of the chain. Okay, so let's just keep doing our thing, keep pushing forward. I see people respect you here. I saw XRB babe trying to chew me up when I gave you some crap about XRP, but it's all good, man. It's all love, and this is what the crypto space needs, bro. Real people. You get what I'm saying? Like people with a heart that actually understand the struggle and that actually want to help people make money and not take advantage of them. So for that, respects, bro.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for you, and I have a lot of hope for you and the community that you're developing around you, the people that are surrounding themselves with you. I understand why you have such a large following. I just want to say thank you so much for being here and taking the time. And you better believe when you're on a live, I'm jumping in there, bud. I'm jumping
Oh,
in there.
you're more than welcome, man. I mean, there's a lot of people, unless it's a bot account, that I wouldn't let up. Like today, I met a Clearview, yeah, Crypto View. Sorry, he's probably in here and probably cursing me out by now. He did. There you go, Crypto View. Um, Great guy as well in the space, very knowledgeable. And, like I told him, I respect people like him, people like you. I have very little or no respect or even tolerance for people that are just out here trying to scam their own community.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Appreciate that, luck.
we're with that together. Absolutely. And honestly, I have very little tolerance for even people within my own investments, people within my own community. Uh, throwing dog shit information out there. To me, that's unacceptable. So I'm very
Exactly.
short-tempered. Even people within my own investments, where it's like, no, you have a responsibility to get the information right. Even within the XRP army, when people do that stuff, I'm like, oh, come on, guys, come on. But no,
Yeah.
man, I'm really glad that we got together, and hopefully the chat learned at least one thing from both of us.
Yeah. I mean, bro, look, if you ever feel like doing this again, just hit
Oh,
me up,
absolutely.
man. I'll obviously different set of questions this time, but yeah, man. Like I said, I'm the type of guy, man, that God willing, if when I'm not if when I make it, I want the people around me to make it as well. And you know, you have every single what well, I don't know if I could say that a word online, but you have the tools you need to make it in this space, bro. And I believe you're gonna do just fine.
And
But
you're
if
the
you ever
short.
need backup, just saying I'm available, okay?
Good man. Nah, you're the shortcut for people, bro. The people don't have to go through the failures. They don't have to do the deep dive researches. You're the shortcut for these people, man. Absolutely, guys. Check out Wadi. Check out his YouTube, his Twitter, his TikTok. Fantastic, fantastic educator and researcher. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I think we had a great live together.
Yes, definitely with it, bro. Hey, even if you want to do a vice versa solo one, just you and I on a panel, and we don't have to argue X or P, but
Oh,
I noticed like when we were arguing X or P, the views were going up, bro. So
oh,
just
people.
saying.
You know what it is? I think people expect me to have debates with people all the time, but no way. Even if we have a difference of opinion, we approach it like gentlemen. It's shared information without
Yes.
being emotional. I'm right, you're wrong. No, we just shared our opinions, and we. But there's a lot of things that we have common ground on. We could talk about multitudes of projects. You know.
Yes, yes. But hi, bro. I appreciate you. I will not take any more of your time. To the audience that do follow me, please make sure you give Blockchain Bully a follow. Great guy. Respect him in the space. And hopefully he'll be joining us soon on one of my live streams. So with that being said, have a blessed one, everyone. Hold on. I'll go with Bully XRP Community Strong. Yeah, I mean, I never said that it wasn't. I'm just not a Kool-Aid drinker. That's all. But we're gonna end that there.
Wadi, thank you so much, brother. I'll catch you on the
Take
next
care,
one.
bro. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give Wadi a follow. Check out his YouTube, his Twitter, his TikTok. Fantastic educator, fantastic researcher. And check out what he's got going on with his indicator. Please reach out to him if you are trying to get a little bit more of a educated decision for your ins and outs of the market. Very, very smart guy. True inspiration to this entire market. With that being said, everybody, good night and good luck.